My name is Greg Chown, and I work as an art director and a storyboard artist, and I've been doing this for probably better part of 25 years. So the art department per se, um, we're responsible for all the set construction, the design and the build of the sets. We're responsible for all the graphics that might appear in a film. We're responsible for the look and the tone of the film. A film like, let's say a very modern film like, say, Bourne Supremacy, which is just filled with monitor screens, computer screens, all that kind of stuff. We build all those. 3 summers ago, I went over to Rwanda in Africa to work on Shake Hands with the Devil. Though in that instance, I was working as a storyboard artist. And that was it's going to be very hard to describe, what it's like to go to a country like Rwanda, but it certainly was an eye-opening experience. And I still keep in touch with people I met over there. No, generally, if the film day is pretty much a 12-hour day, at least. That's what's expected of you. So, for example, in this last film, Harriet the Spy, we've been shooting in Hamilton a lot. So, excuse me, so say the call time is 7:30. I like to be there earlier. I like to be there at 6:30, which means I have to leave my house at 5:30, which means I have to go up at 4:30. It's a very long day, but that's the life we chose. I went to OCA, which is the Art College of Ontario, which is now OCAD. Um, but I really had I had no or little interest in film per se at the time, though we did make some, experimental films. So in truth, aside from the fact that I, like to draw, I didn't really have any training per se. I learned things as I went along. Somebody called me up one day and said, "Hey, do you want to work on a movie?" And I said, "Okay." No, I'm serious. I got called one day to work on a movie as a sign painter, and I thought that would be fun. And one thing led to another, and I worked in a lot of different capacities over the years. I worked as an electric, as a grip, location manager. I was a set decorator, I was a props guy. It was like you get a good overview of how things work. I honestly didn't have a computer until about 1999, and I bought a Mac and learned how to use it. And now you use it every day. It's just the way the world is. But, like I said, you would just go into work and you would just have, I don't know, you would just have like a Rolodex, I guess. Your contacts, and you knew where to get things and where to find things. And you would just draw things. I still just, a lot of the stuff I do, I draw. I still just draw things, but I use the computer for, Illustrator files and Photoshop files, and SketchUp files, that kind of thing. I think the technology will make things different. I don't think it'll necessarily make things better, because all the technology in the world is not going to fix a film that's not interesting to start with. So without, pointing too many fingers, I would much rather watch a film like The Wizard of Oz, which has no computer effects in it whatsoever, than say The Hulk, which is just filled with computer effects. That's one of the things that people don't seem to understand, is that the computer is not going to make the film better necessarily. I'll be honest, I don't think that's relevant. I know a lot of people say that if you work in film, you have no personal life, but I don't think that's true. I think you just try to, balance your time and balance, when you're working, you're working. When you're not working, you're not. You try not to take your problems home with you. Sometimes it's difficult, but, you just, yeah, I personally don't think that's an issue. Other people might. maybe someone who's a bit more adventurous, because there's good times and there's bad times. You know, the business can be quite slow or can be quite busy. You go through different, you know, periods of busyness, and you can't count on it necessarily. It's not a, you know, if you like, if you're a person that likes a lot of structure and a lot of stability, it's probably not for that type of person. I think you have to be able to think on your feet, and you always have to have a. It's always good to have a backup plan. It's always good to have a plan, and then it's good to have a backup plan, because 90% of the time your plan is going to fall apart, and it just happens because there's so many people involved with a project, and there's so many variables, things that could, you know, break down. The truck breaks down, somebody's sick, whatever it is. The director changes his mind. You know, you have to. Sorry, you have to be willing to. Yeah, you have to roll with the punches. I would say the way things are moving now is that a student, someone looking to enter the art department, should actually acquire some very specific skills. And I don't mean bow chuck skills, I mean, or nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, but skills like illustrator skills. When I say illustrator, I mean a program, Photoshop skills, SketchUp skills, CAD is another program. The art department tends to be segregated into, there's people who are specifically graphics people, and people who are what we would call set designers. So their skills are drafting and sort of drafting related programs. Well, you know, the big thing with film too, especially if you're talking about long hours working with somebody, is you know, personality does play a big part in the equation. So for example, if you were, you know, looking to hire somebody, and you know, they might have two equally strong portfolios, but you may have for some reason have a connection with somebody over another person, if that makes sense. Like, how well are you going to fit in with the team? Things are not as difficult as you perceive them to be when you're young. So for example, sometimes by simply asking the right question, the door might open. Well, you got to be good at something. As a student, you know, you have to come out with some set of skills that people are interested in hiring you for. Find something you like to do and do it. It's not as easy as that, but if you enjoy what you do, then work is not work.